All right, here we are, lesson 9, determining perimeter and area of polygons on the coordinate plane. So, today we've just got more problems like we had yesterday, very similar activities today as we did yesterday. The additional thing, though, is they're going to be adding in perimeter on some of these problems. So, real quick review of what perimeter is. Perimeter is the distance around the rim of a shape. So, the key words in perimeter are these 3 letters right there in the middle, rim. So, if you're going to calculate the perimeter of this gray area that they say is a vegetable garden, you're going to have to pretend that you're a little rabbit and you're just hopping around the outside of the fence of this garden. You're trying to look for a way in. You're a little tiny rabbit and you're just hopping all the way around. You see all those yummy vegetables in there that you're just dying to eat, and you're looking for a hole in the fence to get through. So you're hopping all around the rim of the garden. That's perimeter. So what we need to know in order to calculate perimeter is the side lengths. And this is going to be very easy for you to determine the side lengths on the coordinate plane. All you have to do is count the units between corner to corner. When you have irregular shapes like this, which is a combination of 2 rectangles, it's real easy to forget one of the sides. So that's why I want you to imagine yourself being that little bunny hopping around the outside of that vegetable garden so you don't forget. I've gone through and I've counted and I've labeled all the side lengths. Let's see if that's clear enough. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And I put them in there. So it's 4 from A to B, 7 from here down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, another 4, 6, 8, and 13. So to calculate the perimeter, you are going to add up all those sides. The other thing you can do is count the number of sides so you make sure you have enough lengths to add up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. This is a hexagon because it has 6 sides. So if I'm adding up all the side lengths, I need to make sure I have all 6 numbers. And then I just was showing you how I decided to add those 2 together because they make 20, 4 and 4 make 8. And I got 42 units for the perimeter. The area, I'm sure you could just do this by yourself without even my help. Just think about chopping it into 2 rectangles. Just divide it right here. And this top rectangle is a 7 by 4, and the larger rectangle below is an 8 by 6. So you calculate those areas separately and then add them together to get an area of the full vegetable garden is 76 square units. Okay? Example 2 is what type of shape? Look at that. Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a hexagon as well. 6 sides is a hexagon. So this and it does say to do and to calculate the area in 2 different methods, 2 different ways. So I did that. The first method I did by looking at these 2 triangles. Okay, I'll use my colors. I figured out what the area of that triangle is and what the area of that triangle is, which they were equal. Okay, and by counting the units of the base, I got the base was 6. The height or the altitude of the triangle is 2. So my formula is 1/2 6 times 2, or 1/2 of 12, which is 6. So each of these is 6. And then this is a 4 by 6 rectangle in the middle. So that's how I got my 24. And then I'm ready to calculate. Be careful, you don't get distracted from what you're doing. There were 2 triangles that had an area of 6. So when I calculate my final area of the whole thing, I've got to add that 6 twice. Some of you might easily just add these two numbers and think you're done. So 6 plus 6 plus 24 is 36 square units. There's our area one way. Now the other way to do it is to look at the rectangle that surrounds the hexagon by connecting these 4 points right here. Okay, so that rectangle completely encloses that hexagon. In other words, the hexagon is almost the same size as that rectangle, right? We just have to look at these 4 corners that are not there. And all those 4 corners are exactly the same size. They are a 2 by 3 right triangle. So the area of that is 3. 1/2 of 6 is 3. And I have 4 of them. See, look what I did here. I took my area of my rectangle, which I know is 6 by 8. You can count. So 48, and I take away 3 4 times, because for each one of those triangles, and I get the same answer, 36 square units here and 36 square units here. So I've found the area 2 different ways, and I think that's kind of fun to look at it in those ways. It's like a puzzle. All right, so now we're going to determine the area of the following shapes. We've got, this is 1A and B, and then we have 2A and B left to do in this lesson. So in 1, it looks like they're both, this is a hexagon and that's a pentagon, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the outside rectangle. I looked at this and I thought, you know what, that's going to be easy, because again, each one of these 4 corners is the same size. So I only have to calculate the area. As long as you're sure that all of these triangles have the same measurements. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're all 3 by 3s. So half of 9 is 4.5. So each triangle has 4.5 square units of area. My rectangle is a 10 by 9. So I start with my 90 and I subtract 4.5 4 times. By the way, where'd that 18 come from? Well, because I multiplied excuse me, I did not multiply it by 18. 4.5 times 4, and I got 18. So 90 take away 18 is 72 square units. All right, this time we have a pentagon because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So this is a pentagon. And I decided to use the same method where I'm going to draw this rectangle that surrounds the pentagon, and I'm going to calculate the area of these corners that are not there, because all of these corners are right triangles. Now in this case, they're not all 4 the same. Okay, we have 2 the same, and 2 the same here, and 2 the same here. So I have to do 2 different calculations. This triangle here is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 3 by 4. So half of 12 is 6. So both of these are 6. But these triangles here are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. I think I'm getting 5 this time. I mean, I think I got 5. Oh, it is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So these are both 3 by 5s, which means half of 15 is 7.5. So I take my full area of my rectangle, which is an 8 by 8. It's actually a square. Remember, a square is a special type of rectangle. And you subtract from 64 the 2 6s and the 2 7.5s, and you get 37 square units. All right, the last 2 in this lesson are pretty straightforward because they're made up of 2 rectangles. They additionally want you to find the perimeter, so that means you have to calculate all the side lengths and and then calculate the area. So perimeter, I've got, this is another hexagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. I figured out what my missing, well, what all my side lengths were. They were all missing, weren't they? And then adding them up, you get a perimeter of 40 units. The area you can do in two ways. You can calculate the area of two separate rectangles and add them together, or you could calculate the area of this full rectangle that encircles or encompasses our shape, which that would be a 10 by 6. No, it would be a 10 by 10, excuse me. So it'd be 100, and then you would subtract out the 6 by 4 that's missing, this chunk that's missing, and you would get 76. 100 minus 24 is 76. So there's two ways to do it. I did it the way where I figured up this rectangle, which was 6 by 10, and this rectangle, which is 4 by 4, and I added those together to get 76 square units. Okay, you also could have done it by taking the area of the big rectangle, 100, and subtracting out this missing chunk, which is 24, and you would have gotten the same answer, 76 square units. So it's nice to have more than one way to solve a problem. Okay, now this one is a T-shaped, it looks like. So let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be an octagon, not a regular octagon, but an octagon all the same because it has 8 sides. The area is, I'm just going to do it one way this time, 2 rectangles, the big top of the T and the base of the T. So calculating out all the side lengths by counting. This big rectangle is a 6 by 15, which is 90 square units. And the base of the T is a small rectangle, which is 40 square units, a 10 by 4. So our area is 130 square units. Now for the perimeter, I've got to add up 8 numbers, remember, because this is an 8-sided figure. And if this is a vegetable garden and you're that rabbit, you're not going to give up. You're going to keep hopping all the way around all 8 sides. You'll probably do it more than once, hoping you find a hole. So let's count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So I've got all the sides accounted for. Adding them up, however you see fit, you'll get 62 units for the perimeter. So area is how much space a shape takes up. Perimeter is the distance around the rim of the shape. So it's important to keep those two concepts separate. You guys need lots of review on that because it's easy to get them mixed up. Perimeter would be how much fence do I need to go around my vegetable garden. Area would be how much dirt do I need to fill in that garden. Okay, good luck, 6th grade. Hope to see some of you at office hours. Take care.